What's up, everyone? It's Brian from the Exact IT Solutions YouTube channel. Welcome to another video. I haven't been around in a while. I haven't posted a video on YouTube in a while. Just been busy. There's a lot of things going on. It's not for lack of cybersecurity stuff. Just got busy here in the business. Had to take care of the business first. Love doing the YouTube. Love providing content to you guys. Love the interaction I get on some of the videos that we post. But I just haven't been able to get to this, so I apologize. And there's a lot of stuff going on out there that I want to talk about. So today we're going to talk about Iran getting into the ransomware game. We're going to talk about a congressional report that came out yesterday about the state of cybersecurity in the United States between public and private entities. Got a few things to talk about around things that could happen towards the holidays, what's going on with Russian ransomware attackers, CMMC. If you're not familiar with that, I'll fill you in on that, and I'll give you a quick update on that, and a couple hacking groups that people thought were pretty much gone at this point. Two of them have resurfaced, and I'm going to jump into that today. So remember, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. Help us out, share our content out to your friends and family. Let them know that somebody out there gives a crap about cybersecurity and wants to educate you about it. So without further ado, let's jump into today's content. All right, guys, first one up here today. I mean, look, if you guys don't understand, if you're a business owner or you work in a business, you own a business, you run a business, you're responsible for a department in a company, you're responsible for the IT in your company, and you're not really addressing cybersecurity and you're not addressing the things that you need to be worried about today, which is things like, Russia, China, North Korea. Iran is now getting into the game. And quite frankly, from a state-sponsored hacking standpoint, Iran's pretty good at hacking. And now they want to get into the ransomware campaign because, look, the world, is going into a place where a lot of countries, a lot of pressures coming out of COVID are happening economically. And these countries that aren't as advanced as the United States, China, and Russia, they're looking at this ransomware game going, hey, why don't we try to make some money for us and our country and our people while we're going through this? I mean, hey, it seems to be okay for Russians to do it. It seems to be okay for their citizens to go attack the rest of the world. And it doesn't seem like the rest of the world is doing a whole lot about it other than doling out a bunch of cash and paying money to get out of these jams that they get themselves into. And, rightfully so. Businesses are worried about cyber attacks during the holidays. A report finds. Well, yeah, no kidding. Businesses are going to be worried about cyber attacks because you got people like Iran getting into the game along with other countries. So now it's like all these private businesses in the United States and around the world, in the UK and in Western Europe, are all going to be thrust into this cyber war. And unfortunately, these countries don't care, and they don't care that they're destroying businesses, that they're taking money from these companies that earned it rightfully, and they're doing it under the guise that these companies aren't doing cybersecurity or aren't securing their stuff good enough. So you're heading into the holidays, and you're worried about cyber attacks. And I recently, part of the reason why I haven't been able to do YouTube so much is because I've actually been doing real media on TV, on Fox Business, CNN, been quoted in there. And I just was in a Fox Business article that talked about transportation sector and the shipping sector being under attack, and things that I'm seeing on the dark web and research that my company is doing. And that have early indicators that this is going to be an industry that's going to be targeted. Why? Because a lot of products move from the ports to the stores between October and January. And if you can cause a problem and potentially disrupt a company's ability to ship to its customers or get product to its customers, you now have more leverage to get paid more money. And that's how this game works. And, this stuff isn't slowing down. Businesses need to get in tune, get a cybersecurity plan in place. It's no secret that the federal government is basically out there begging businesses to do the right thing, begging businesses to spend money on cybersecurity. When most companies' technology budget, when I talk to bigger companies, middle market companies, and I ask them, well, what's your technology budget, right? And I get a number. And I go, okay, how much of that is actually cybersecurity and infrastructure that goes to your CIO or your CISO versus how much goes to your marketing person or your CMO, your chief marketing officer? And almost 9.9 times out of 10, when I pull back the numbers, the technology spend, a significant portion is actually going to the marketing technology spend and not the actual IT infrastructure and cybersecurity marketing spend. So be careful. The devil's in the details when you hear how much a company spends on technology and things like that. So keep that in mind. But the FBI contradicts Biden's cyber director claims of a slowdown in Russian cyber attacks on the U.S. And this is just in response to the FBI saying we haven't seen a slowdown like your cyber director is claiming. And they are claiming that they're seeing a slowdown because that they've recently had some successes with taking down some ransomware groups over in Russia. And unfortunately, that really hasn't done a whole heck of a lot. Because number one, there's a lot of these guys. And when you take one or two of them down, it's very easy for the rest of them just to start up a new group. We've seen that 100 times. We saw that. Now we have dark matter, which is an offshoot of, 3 other different, ransomware groups. And there's new ransomware groups being born every day out there, whether they're part of Russia, whether they're part of another country. I just pointed out that Iran is getting in the game. There's other countries in the game, and there's private people out there that are affiliated with no country. They're just out there looking to make a buck, and they're doing this too. And there's 2 types of ransomware, issues out there that people need to be aware of. Number one, there's the first one against businesses, which these are the ones you see in the news. These are the ones with the hundreds of thousands of dollars to $1 million in claims. But there's also individuals who get hit with crypto or with ransomware, and they only have to pay $500 or $700 to get their data back. But if you don't have backups of your computer, if that's all your data, all your family pictures and things like that are stored on this computer that just got ransomware, you're probably going to pay the ransom there as well. And these things are still happening today. They haven't gone away. They're not as lucrative. They're not as prevalent. They're not as flashy, and they don't make the news. But there's still guys out there trying to get into your computers, trying to deploy ransomware like this, and they will take any dollar amount that they can get in order to get your files back that they rightfully or wrongfully stole and encrypted on you. So another thing I want to talk about today is CMMC. And if you don't know what CMMC is, and the reason I want to bring this up is because CMMC was kind of, it was a good idea in the beginning, but I was I didn't go all in on the program with my company because I just felt like there was something about this program that really, wasn't going to stick. Thankfully, I have an experience. I used to work as a DoD contractor in IT back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. And I got to experience what was called NMCI at the time. And it's short, that was an acronym for Navy Marine Corps Intranet. And it was supposed to be basically managed services, managed IT for the Navy and Marine Corps. And that was supposed to roll out over, I think it was like a 2-year period. Ultimately, It took them close to 20 years to roll it out. And I started when CMMC first came out. And what CMMC is it's an acronym for Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, and it's a way for DoD contractors to get certified that they're doing cybersecurity properly, so they don't have an issue within the Defense Department supply chain, meaning the ships that are bought and all the contractors that go into building a ship or building a missile or building a jet plane. All of these contracts are usually awarded to large contractors, but then they subcontract out to smaller companies, smaller businesses, in order to get certain parts, certain services delivered as they put together the whole big project of maybe building a jet plane or an aircraft carrier or something like that, right? Most of these companies that deal with this stuff at the subcontractor level are really under 50 employees. And the whole idea is that everybody in the supply chain would have some level of audit. And I had a lot of issues with how it was being rolled out, what was going on over at CMMC. And funny enough, that all those concerns I had and all those suspicions I had turned out to be true, where CMMC made a major change to how they're going to do things, a major change, and it's really upset a lot of people. Didn't really upset me because I kind of knew it was coming. And the reason I'm pointing this out, the reason I'm talking about this in this video, is because it illustrates to private business owners that the government really doesn't know how to handle this problem either. CMMC was supposed to be the thing that solved the problem, and then the thought was that CMMC would be adopted throughout the government and then eventually trickle down in the private industry. Well, unfortunately, you have DHS and CISA who are building their own thing, and they're doing their own thing, and they're critiquing and they are criticizing the DoD's efforts through the CMMC program. And when you have the government basically infighting about cybersecurity and how things should be done, and then you have things like, for instance, there have been some investigations around the people who are running the CMMC program, the accreditation body as it's known. The person who was running that had stepped down, and there's all these politics and all these scandals around CMMC early on that are really turning people off to the whole entire program. So now you have DHS and CISA and then CMMC who are kind of basically building their own frameworks for the government, the federal government, to follow around cybersecurity. So why I bring this up again is because business owners, if you're banking on the U.S. government to do something or figure something out or help you in any way, shape, or form with cybersecurity, I'm here to tell you that you don't want to put any stock into that at all. You need to tackle this on your own. This is going to be your problem that you need to own, that you need to deal with. Because just look at this whole mess that is going on in our government, where they can't even agree on how certain things should be for the government, let alone how private businesses should be handling their own security and things like that. So, wrapping up the video today, here we go. This is the crazy world that we live in today with hackers and hacking groups and things coming back and threats. Not only are our business owners worried like they should be, like I've been telling you guys, but Emotet resurfaces on the back of TrickBot. So these are the two most damaging groups in terms of malware and viruses that have ever existed to date. And governments around the world work together to bring these networks down. Microsoft was involved, and it was a big deal when these groups went down, and they went down hard, and they haven't come back. Well, guess what? In the last week, they both came back, and they resurfaced, ready to cause problems, ready to cause. This is a huge botnet network that these two are now back, which allows them to basically automate the process of trying to infect companies and go after companies and create more cyber attacks and data breaches. And these companies, they're back. And most business people, you guys don't know about this stuff. You don't know that this is going on. This just happened this week. And you're already worried about cyber attacks coming during the holidays. And we already see the chatter on the dark web. And, doing something like this with Emotet and TrickBot at the same time, it's accelerant on the fire again. We've seen so many instances of this over the years where ransomware was on the rise and then COVID came, and that really, put an accelerant on the success of these ransomware groups because they were able to use a lot of things around COVID to trick people into clicking on things, and then it created a ransomware problem for the company that they work for. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here in the next 2 or 3 months. A lot of stuff is coming. But the reason I wanted to put out this video is to, update everybody that, there's a lot going on. My company and myself, we've been busy as a result of all this stuff, which is why I haven't been able to get on YouTube as much as I'd like to. But when I do create these videos, I'd love it if you guys would drop questions and comments down below so I could answer them. Obviously, share out the channel and like our stuff. You guys do a great job with that, and I thank you. We surpassed 1,500 subscribers in October at some point, and I haven't posted a lot of videos, so I thank everybody for that. I do promise to bring out more videos and get more content out there. I do believe this stuff is important. We've been working on a lot of different things behind the scenes with content and things like that through our own website, so go over and check out my company, xitx.com. We also have some other exciting programs coming out around cybersecurity that I'm going to talk about on this channel and things like that, that I'm really excited about. But simply today, comment on our stuff, share our channel out, share our videos out, like our stuff, keep supporting us, and we'll keep putting out great content like this. And remember, anytime you need help with cybersecurity, ransomware, cyber attacks, or just protecting your business, Exact IT Solutions is here for you. So head over to our website again, www.xitx.com. You'll find plenty of buttons and places and links to contact us. They're all over the place. Go to our cybersecurity page under services, check out what we can do, and check out our cybersecurity certification that we have, the CompTIA Security Trust Mark Plus. We're one of 30 companies in the world to have this certification. It benchmarks our company and the things that we do for our clients against this cybersecurity framework. And it's the only cybersecurity framework that audits you against the U.S. government's rules for doing cybersecurity properly. We've attained that certification. We're very proud of that. And you can find out more about that over on our website at www.xitx.com. So contact me down below in the comment section or come to my website. I'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.